Toni. 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 T Hey y'all, we are back, we are back, we are back.
It's that time. Yes, yes. Lissha, Toni.
Hey y'all, we are back, we are back, we are back.
It's that time. Let's get it. Lissha, Memphis, Toni.
Hey y'all, we are back, we are back, we are back.
It's that time. Let's get it. Lissha, Memphis, Toni.
Hey y'all, we are back, we are back, we are back.
It's that time. Let's get it. Lissha, Memphis, Toni.
Hey, Leash.
Hey, T. Listen. So I tried. I can't reach the light. I'm trying to change the light bulb, but I cannot reach it. I've been trying. I done got the ladder. I done put on some shoes.
Not working.
Here. I'm trying to get to this light up here so I can get rid of all this little silver moon stuff we got going on. Like I'm on the box of the Lucky Charms or something.
You got that out of
Listen,
space feeling.
listen, because it's already, it get dark early. I was so frustrated. I kept saying, what is going on? And I got the light bulbs in there, but I don't think they screwed in there tight because I can't really reach. Child, I have to call somebody.
You have one of those grab 'em things where you can put the
No, okay, so the little light bulb thing. You just unscrew the cover and it don't come off. So it just comes down. And then the lights twirl.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put the light bulb in and you twirl it to the other side, you put the other light bulb in. And then you tighten it up. But I couldn't get it in there good to get it tight. I'm gonna have to call somebody. I can't. I tried. I really did, honestly. I said I'm gonna put that light up there.
Now y'all know when Leash has to call somebody, it's real. Because she is like the madam of everything. She's the madam of all trades. Sometimes I tell her let the people that went to college get a degree to do it, but
listen, you know me, I get frustrated when I want to do something and I can't do it. I really get frustrated because I'm like, I can do that. That's not hard. I don't care what it is. Listen, you know the little thing in the sink? That's my next thing. I'm about to watch me some YouTube videos. You know the little stopper that comes up in the sink? I'm going to try to figure out and learn how it don't look hard because it's just like a little piece you unscrew, I'm assuming. I'm going to make sure it's not connected to nothing that's going to flood my bathroom. But I think I could do it. I think I can loosen it up and pull it out.
Time out, y'all. Y'all, time out. Y'all know my girl. She be killing it over there. Everything is just, it's so simple. I could do it. You know? Let the experts come in.
It's a light. I could fix the light. I just can't reach it. I'm so frustrated I couldn't reach it. I even put some shoes on that had a little something on them to help me lift.
She got the lift shoes, y'all.
Listen.
It's real over there.
I get real frustrated when it's something that I can't do. And I'm like, I can do this. I do.
Y'all remember when she had the lighting issue and she had to have an electrician come in and she standing next to him said,
I could have did that.
Wire. That's all. I could have did that. Girl.
I could have did that.
He was like, no, sister, you just go have a seat. Let the experts do it.
Listen, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
You're killing me.
Listen, I was trying though. I got off of work early. I unchecked my little boxes early so I could get up. I said I'm gonna try this like one more time. I'm gonna try it again before I call somebody. Maybe I just was rushing. Maybe I just need time and I was rushing a little bit. So I'm gonna try it again and see if I can get it.
I'm gonna ask our guest when she come into the studio. Do you try to do everything yourself, or do you sometimes call the experts in? Because
it's a light bulb. How much of an expert do you need?
I'm gonna ask her. Are you a Jane of all trades like our Miss? Wait, Miss Lee?
Oh Lord, go ahead, open us up, T.
Absolutely. Welcome you guys to We Can Do It All over here on Let's Chat. Well, at least half of us can do it all over here. He's the expert over there. But we thank you guys for joining us. We have another fantastic and exciting show on tap tonight. You know, Lissha and I, we are avid readers, but we have gone far and above just reading. We just enjoy all the arts. We enjoy the dopeness of it all. And we're going to have a dope guest in the chat room shortly. We're going to see if she's, a Jane of all trades like our Lissha is. But we thank you guys for joining us on our Facebook Live. Get ready because it's already live up in the chat room, guys.
Listen. We been trying. Listen, you gotta try to do stuff. I used to do roadside, and it used to frustrate me so bad when the women would say, I don't know where the tire is. Is it in your trunk? I don't know. My husband normally handles that. If you don't figure out where that cotton picking tire is.
Now, you know where the tire is, but am I going to change it? If I have to, I know where everything is because I be under the hood twiddling and twiddling and everything. But, especially if it's the day I got my nails did.
Well, we gonna bring in our guest and let her weigh in on this. We got the fabulous Vic Breedy in the building. Welcome,
Hey.
Listen.
Come on, Vic, you gotta weigh in.
Let me tell you, I have never met her. Her energy, I felt it through the email. She was like, relax, I got it. I was like, her energy is everything. We about to have a good time. All right, Vic. Now, let us know here. If it's something you feel you could do, you go ahead on and do that. She laughing because she
Mm-mm. Hi.
She's laughing. You do, don't you? You like, if I think I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
She can do everything. She's an electrician. She's a plumber. She's a
I hear her.
She's a roof layer. You know, she builds walls.
Listen.
Mm-mm.
I think you could do anything you put your mind to. I just couldn't do that light because I needed like 4 more inches. And then I'd have been in there.
I hear you.
We appreciate you coming and kicking with us in the chat room. We want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your literary journey, and your work.
Okay. Well, hey. Thank you for having me, even though I stopped you.
She did. She was like,
Yeah.
It's done. I was like, oh, okay. Promoted and everything. I had to do nothing. I was like, oh, I like her already. And I even had 2 questions with her. But I like her.
So I am Vic Breedy, and I started off just being an author, and I morphed into a couple of other things on my journey. And I didn't actually intend on being an author. I was just writing stuff down. Mm-hmm. I was just writing stuff down. I was going through a divorce, and I needed something therapeutic to do. Mm-hmm. And I made characters out of my strongest emotions. And then I had family and friends encourage me to, to make something out of it. But yeah, that was it. I wasn't, and even the name Vic Breedy, that's actually my maternal grandmother's maiden name and my paternal grandmother's maiden name. So that's not even me, y'all.
But listen,
it's a family name. It's a family name. So Vic.
That's unique. A unique way to create your characters. I've never heard that. Like when you're going through something, you picked each emotion and you basically gave it a name. You gave it a face. You gave it something to be able to physically see, even though you couldn't physically see it or understand it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The strongest emotion was bitter. Bitterness.
Well, listen, but that bitterness, a lot of times it's ego we fight against. Ego will put us in a trick bag every time. It'll have us all over the place acting a whole fool.
Yes. which is why the character in my book, Ava, who is the has the most, she's the bitter one, goes through it. She goes through it throughout the whole series, and the book is basically about what happens to you when you're bitter. It doesn't advocate for you to be bitter. So
yes. Now, when you sat down to write this book, you were going through a divorce. You were trying to kind of really kind of find yourself again and come back to being just centered in yourself. What was the hardest part about that journey for you when you sat down to kind of put everything on paper?
Actually, putting it on paper was probably the easy part. It was, what do I do with it now? That was the hard part, because I didn't know any authors. I read a lot. I like fiction and I like autobiography, so I read, but I didn't know what to do, and I went on Google and I was like, how do you publish a book? and I learned the hard way. Boy, I could give seminars on how not to do it. Really, 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 really. I found a self-publishing agency. They took most of the money. Yep. They created the book. You told them you can give them a little image if you had one. I didn't have one. I just, my first book was a black book with white letters that say bitter straight across. That was it. And my reasoning behind that was, at that time, was I said, well, I'm a Black author. Nobody knows me anyway, so me putting my picture on the back of the book isn't going to get, isn't going to put it in more hands, had I been somebody that people knew. And I said, but I also don't want the picture of my book to limit my audience. So, although it was a story about Black women, any woman could pick it up and learn something from it. So I was like, oh, if this gets in a bookstore, I don't want it tucked away in the African American section.
Right. But that's true. You always want something that's going to stand out and pop. And it's important that when you're writing, and you're thinking about publishing, you have to think about that. You have to think about the marketing and positioning, even when you're writing it. You have to think about what you want and how you want to see it. And if you put it in a category that you can get lost in, you will.
Yep.
Or get labeled as.
Can y'all see me? I feel like I'm half screen.
Yeah.
Can y'all?
We want you to move over. I sent a chat box. I
don't read. Hold on, let me see how I do it.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I said, well, I'm over here looking like, how to get to her? Let me see.
And I sent the text as well, Lissha. We're all on the same page.
I am focused. I ain't looking at no text and no chat.
Now you call yourself a self-care advocate. Talk a little bit about that, because we all about self-care over here. So let's talk about it.
So I'll take you from bitter to selfish women's group. All right. So I created Bitter, the book, and it became a series. I have a trilogy, right? And towards the end of the trilogy, I started to notice that I wasn't taking care of myself. When I start writing, it's like I can only be committed to like one thing, and everything else kind of, it doesn't get my all. Like for instance, if I'm working out, I'm working out. If I'm writing, I'm writing. Like they both aren't happening.
Right. That's true though. That's true. Because when you got so much going on and you can't focus on that one thing, then you don't feel accomplished. Yeah. You got to make sure that you're giving your all to it. And then, a lot of times, if you think about it, society has told women, mothers, that anytime you take care of yourself, that's selfishness. You know, you're supposed to give to everybody. Give, 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 give. Just give it on out. Go ahead on. But the thing is that you're not getting refilled.
Yep.
So that's like
So
going to the refrigerator and somebody just left a swig of Kool-Aid.
yes, I can't stand a little drop of juice being left. That affects me in a way y'all don't understand. I'm like, why bother?
But if you think about it, that's how we do ourselves as women. You know,
Yeah.
we leave a swig, and then
Yeah.
we're supposed to maneuver and move and push through on a swig,
Right.
and then we realize we cannot.
You don't have it. Right. So it was at a time when I was experiencing a lot of stress. And I was actually, so there's more to it, but so I'm writing, and then I find out that I am the caretaker for the Vic of my name, of my author name. So the grandmother, Vic. I became her caretaker. I don't even want to say caretaker. I want to say healthcare proxy. and and she suffered a traumatic brain injury. And so I couldn't, ask her what she wanted or whatever. So for a long period of time, I was making tough decisions. And it was at the time in which things actually settled down, and I was able to feel because I was on autopilot basically.
Yeah.
Just because I had to take care of her didn't mean all my other responsibilities were on pause. So I was on autopilot, and I said, I know what happens to me when I stop paying attention, to how if I'm even taking care of myself. And
Right.
so I said, okay, been here before, don't want a whole lot of strange ailments to start happening to me, because I'm a person that can handle a lot of stress, and it takes it to manifest physically for me to say, hey, slow down.
Right.
Your hair's
Right.
falling out, slow down. Your eyes turning red, slow down. Your face is breaking out, slow
That's right.
down. And so I said, if I'm feeling like this, I know that there are other women that feel like this. And I said, I need something. And that something wasn't there. And I knew that I could create it. So I reached out to a few people that had the skill set that and I know that they would be willing, because you can have the skill set and not want to give.
That's right. That's right, though.
Right. So I hit up two people that I knew, and I said, I want to do a group for women to, that have a hard time taking care of themselves. I want a group for women that feel guilty about taking care of themselves, and I want to flip that, so that's where the selfish part of it came in, where, I want to give power back to the selfish part of it, so I named the group Selfish Women's Group. And I said, it'll be about being selfish with self-care, which is not a selfish thing.
That's right.
It's a responsible thing, and I take some of the power away by claiming the selfishness of the self-care piece of it. So yeah, I hit up two people. They agreed, and then later on down the line, I got one more person, and it became a group for women, a self-care group for women. We've been doing it for 3 years. We do it for free. We meet for 3 hours on Sundays, quarterly. But since COVID, we haven't been meeting in person. So we've been doing it virtually. And we don't do it for 3 hours either. We do it for about an hour and a half.
I got a question. Go ahead, T, because I know you had a question.
No, I want to ask Vic, did you even in the beginning realize that your feelings and your emotions can be such a powerful motivator to where you are today? You have a book based on feelings and a group based on feelings. But do you feel that in the beginning it would be such a motivator for you to be at this point in your life?
No, something? You know what motivates me? Pain. Honestly. Pain is what usually gets me, I try to remix pain. because sometimes pain, you can't avoid it, but it's how you respond to it, right? So usually when, I am pushed up against a wall or experiencing some type of adversity, I'm trying to think of, okay, how can I make this benefit me or somebody else? So my divorce, I wrote bitter, I wrote a story I hope women could relate to, and then, I went through, becoming the caretaker or healthcare proxy for my grandmother, finding her unconscious, was like traumatic.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yep. Found
Absolutely.
her unconscious. She was home alone in her like she was in elderly housing, but she lived alone.
Right.
And she didn't answer the phone for a couple of days. I kept calling her. And
So
then
now you
finally
gotta pull up. Mm-hmm.
so then and she was unconscious.
Oh,
So yeah,
and
that
she
was
had
like,
been like that.
yeah, I don't know how she made it. I don't know how many days she was down either, honestly.
Mhm.
So she held on, got it to the hospital. She had to have 5 brain surgeries over like 6 months.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
she had brain bleeds. It was the skull had moved, like a whole bunch of stuff. The brain
Oh
had
my
moved.
God.
Um,
Wow.
and so yeah, and then it's like I can't ask her any questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want this?
Right.
I didn't even know I was a healthcare proxy. So just all of that, and then I still gotta eat. Everybody else gotta eat. I still
That's
gotta work
right.
hard. I can't my
Mm-hmm.
productivity level can't go down. I
Mm-hmm.
still gotta be big greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And mom, right. And so I needed something.
Mm.
And so I said, I know that there are other people that have gone through worse, so if I
Mm.
could give on some
Right.
level, on some level
Mhm.
from what I'm, so
Right.
pain, even genetically
Absolutely.
resilient,
But
the,
now, do you find that we, I'm not going to just say as women, but do you find as just society in general, they create the definition for a particular thing? And like we were saying, how self care is called selfishness. I think that a lot of times we create a definition that really has nothing to do, but we're using it to define something specific. I think that when people need self care, that is a life necessity. And a lot of times you need to have those people around you that when you can't spot it, they can spot it. Where they can say, you need to sit down, or as T would tell me, you need to unplug. But people around you that can catch it, because
Mm-hmm.
when you're going, when your mind is moving and you got all these things going, and you're just like, oh, I gotta do this, oh, let me do this, oh, I want to do this, and then you're doing all of those things, but you are not recognizing at
Mm-hmm.
you're
first,
right.
and you need to sit down, but then you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When that
Yeah.
happens to you, what is that process like for you? When you absolutely have missed the fact that you need your self care.
Right. So before it, like I said, it would take something happening to me for me to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like my threshold was too high for BS, and so I wouldn't catch it, and
Mm-hmm.
it took, like I said, strange things happening to me for me to understand that, okay, you might not catch it because you think you can like do the most, you just
Right.
keep going and going and going. You might not catch it that way, but you don't want to catch it the other way, because things that might be dormant inside of you, now they
Mm-hmm.
manifest because you've weakened your immune system
Right.
on some level with all that
Mm-hmm.
stress.
Yeah.
So if you can't catch it, you got to have your vacity, your vacity around you, that can catch it for you. But you have to know who those people are in your life that,
Mm-hmm.
pinpoint those things out. That might not be your mother or your girlfriend or your sister, or, it might be somebody else. And so I think an important part is identifying those people who have that skill set, if you want to call it, or who could be your self-care varsity, so that they check you.
And also, that you have to be receptive of that check. Sometimes we may, just hear it, but we may not just really listen to it. And we have to be receptive of what other people see in ourselves. Because, like you said, you may not see it, I may not see it, but other people around you, those that are in tune with you, that are true to you, see it. But that receptive has to be on our end to receive that.
Right. Yeah. And I already think that I do a lot. I think that I do more than most. And so when somebody tries to like sit me down, I'm like, nah, just because I'm not moving the way you move don't mean that like I do this.
Right.
This is how I move.
I got it.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah. Definitely.
It becomes like the norm though, because then it's like, okay, well, I noticed that a lot of times the expectation that people have is hard, but one is preset, and two is based off of how they feel and their own experiences. I think that even though in the season that we're in of love language, people still give and receive love the way they want, the way they interpret it. If your love language is acts of service, they're gonna say mine too. But you have those people that say, "Well, let me do something so I can get something," and they don't realize that is not an act of service. But for us, but for them, that is what an act of service is. So they're still giving and receiving based on themselves. That makes sense, y'all. And I think we do that a lot because, and I think that's where everybody bumps head, because you're giving and receiving love the only way you know how. So when you are like, yours is active service. So we're gonna go into the mind of Vic Breedy. Listen, like you won't play in there too long. Listen. When you are because when you are moving around and you are doing so many things, how do you position yourself in a way that you can receive whatever another person is trying to give, because it may not come the way you're expecting?
You must have been home with me. Were you listening in?
Let her face like, y'all, I don't know. You answer me. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. That's difficult. It is, and like I said, I'm not a real affectionate person. You know what I mean?
I think you're my twin sister, and we just don't have the same mama and daddy.
I'm not. I mean, I love you, but I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
I'm just, so
like from a distance,
it's difficult. I'm that friend that might not call you every day, but when I call you, it'll still feel like we never lost touch. You still get the same. I mean, I don't expect you to call me, every day, but not everybody moves like that, and I know that. Like, I actually have had to let certain people in my circle go that require that level of attention. Not because it's bad, but just because I'm not good at giving it. Honestly.
I'm the opposite. I'm an affectionate person, and I'm that's just my makeup, and sometimes those opposites attracts. Like Lissha and I, we've been working together and vibing together for years, but it works, Sometimes what the other doesn't bring to the table, one does. So we work off each other's strengths as well as our weaknesses, and that makes us who we are. You know, and I think that's the same thing works in relationships and even in family sometimes, but definitely in relationships. So we have an awesome working relationship, Lissha and I. That's my partner. That's my sister in crime. You know, but we both bring something different to the table, and then we make it us. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
but it's a
vibe.
It's a vibe, though. You have to, you know how everybody talks about frequencies, but it's true. You gotta really vibe on the same frequency, even though you guys are two different people. And so sometimes everybody is not meant to go with you.
True.
Everybody is not meant to travel with you. Sometimes where they are is where they are.
Yep.
And you have to be able to love them where they are. But you also have to understand that they have to love you where you are. But listen, you like a walking emotionless robot. I can't with you. But I love you from a distance. But I can't because you're not nice. And you know, so it goes both ways. But you got it, honestly. What you said, you have to learn how to cut people off.
I found real good with boundary setting. And that's self-care. That's self-care. As I get older, you know, I care less. No, I care more. For me,
you care less.
The focus is more me. You know, like I'm okay with saying no, and I'm okay with you not being okay.
Right.
You know, and not everybody's okay with that. You know what I mean? You know, even as you guys said, like that energy that you guys have, like people assume because I'm friendly, like on one-on-ones and maybe two-on-ones, I'm friendly and I'll talk to you if you talk to me first. But I'm introverted, and people don't really pick up on that, you know, but I keep people around me that are extroverted. You know what I mean? So that's how that works, because where I fall short, like I definitely fall short with networking. Like in terms of it takes me a while to branch out, you know, and I know that has probably stunted my growth in terms of my audience. Because I think I'm fantastic. I think I'm dope. And I just think not enough people know about me.
But you know what?
You know?
It doesn't. I don't think it stunts your growth. That is part of your growth. And
You know, think so?
I think so. I think that first of all, just like an author, if you think about authors and readers, everybody is not gonna like what you write. It's not gonna hit right away. It may not hit right away. You know, you might put out book one and you like, ooh, this is good. You feel, but it's not hitting the way you want.
Yeah.
And then book two come and you like, oh, I just so ready to get it done. And it's hitting the way you expected book one to. You know what I'm saying? So everything happens for a reason when it was supposed to happen, when it's supposed to happen. And you got to be okay with, and I've learned that. Everybody's not going to, it's not that they don't like me. They just don't vibe with me. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't have, you know, Taraji talked about this, and it's actually a meme, not a meme, something on that goes around, like a meme. But she was like, I don't have time to try to put people on my side. I don't. And I feel the same way. I don't have time to try to get you on my side and let you know how great I am. If you can't see it, then you just not with it no way. There's nothing I can do about that. And I'm not going to waste my time and my energy to try to figure it out for you. I don't have that type of time. I'm not trying to give that type of time. Like if you can't recognize it, and if you can't see it, I don't care who it is. It could be a friend, whoever. If you can't recognize it and see it, then you just can't recognize it and see it. But I'm not about to sit up here and do tricks, splits and all of that. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not.
Right. You know, that's part of the growth that we were talking about. That, you know, we have to be that self-care. You know, we can't waste that time that we can't get back trying to bring someone in our circle. You know, we still have to focus on us. And as
Mhm.
women, we don't do enough of that because we're always nurturing and making sure everyone else around us is okay. So we have to take that time that we would be wasting trying to, you know, convince someone else of the greatness within us. We have to put
Mhm.
that time on us. And this
Mhm. Well, that's the issue, though. I haven't been convincing people the greatness.
that's good.
That's what I'm talking about, though. My
But
circle's small.
But you gotta keep your circle small. One, that's how you make sure people ain't putting holes in the bottom of the boat. You
That's
know,
true.
that's how you know that everybody is working to push, and some people just ain't right, and you able to see that. It's kind of like keeping your grass low. But as an author, even you have to get out there, and you do have to mix and mingle. And if you notice, you look at stars. We only see
Mhm.
stars going live when they want us to go buy something, when they want us to go
Mhm.
watch a movie, when they want us to go stream some music. Other than that, they about their business. And I think
Mhm.
that authors have to kind of look at it at the same way. Um, Interaction is key. It is a
Mhm.
necessity, especially in this industry, because it's an industry that's built on relationships.
Right,
But
Mhm.
I don't have to crowd you, and you don't have to crowd me.
right,
Like, you can vibe with people, and when you vibe with them, that means that I don't have to talk to you every day. But when I do talk to you, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole set of
Mhm.
energy. It's like we do talk every day, but we really don't.
right.
And
Mhm.
that's okay. But you do have to kind of move around. And in COVID, it's a little hard because you can't do book events. You can't position yourself
Yeah.
in certain arenas. So that does happen. But you just kind of gotta collab a little bit. You have to kind of
Yeah.
you gotta collab a little bit. You have
Yeah.
to kind of align yourself so that you're placed in different positions.
Mhm.
But honestly, I'm with you. I don't
She don't.
find anything on the side. Listen, if I gotta tell you how great I am, and I'm dope, and I'm this and I'm that, I gotta give you a whole resume.
Right. Mhm.
You know. But Vic, with that being said, with COVID, since we're on the subject of COVID, has that brought out feelings and emotions within yourself that you hadn't experienced before? And is that maybe an upcoming new book with new characters?
No, no, actually no, because I feel like I've been thriving like I've been
Really?
operating on level one, like when you weren't supposed to go anywhere, and the
Mhm.
stores were closed and there was
Mhm.
no traffic. I never
Right.
left that. I've been operating on March. It's been
So you
March
are
for me for the
really.
last 6 months.
Mhm. But that's interesting because a lot
So,
of
and
people
I regret.
approach it differently.
You said a lot of people what?
A lot of people have had different experiences with it. Some people are thriving, and some people are really having difficulty, because they're used
Yes,
to being
yes,
out and about. And some people, this is their norm, you know,
right,
that you
right,
probably like what you speak of.
But
right.
I got a question
So,
though, because you got Twitter series, and you
yep,
know that the space that you're in now, and I'm just piggybacking off what Tony said. You have a new set of feelings. You have a new set of
Emotion.
characters that are creating inside of
Mhm.
you. Have you thought about a
hmm
spin-off into another book series, focusing on those particular feelings that you're having now, those emotions you're having now, and making those new characters? Her face is
so
like,
I did. So I wrote.
oh, you
No, so I actually wrote my new release, Selfish Woman's Group, because I wrote. So Selfish Woman's Group is a book. It's also a group, and it's also I also put out a journal, a self-care journal for people to
oh,
focus on
that's
self-care.
yeah.
Um, so so those characters, I basically stopped the book at the end of May. So
Okay.
it's all about COVID and and what we're
Oh,
going through
mhm.
now. But I'm actually trying to, and I don't have no business doing it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to do it. I think I'm gonna try a sci-fi.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been.
Cozy mystery.
What happened?
A cozy mystery. It's not a lot of Black authors that write cozy mysteries. That's like Murder She Wrote, Heart to Heart.
Okay.
And naturally, listen, naturally, we already Cagney and Lacey's. Listen, you tell a black woman something and she get to thinking, she like, well, that just don't add up. Let me go find out what's going on.
Yes.
So I would just think like a Black version of Murder She Wrote or Heart to Heart. I think that's just so dope. I love cozy mysteries. And I always encourage people to write them, but I think you would be like perfect, like, listen.
So definitely, even the bitter series is a lot of suspense and mystery. So especially part 2, where they talk about, one of them has a private investigating agency. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, but yeah, so as you said, like new feelings and stuff like that. So how do I want to pull things together? So let's see. So the Vic of the Vic Breedy, my grandmother, who I was, caring for, she was actually affected by COVID. She was in a nursing home and she passed away. And then, so that right there, that allowed me to put a little bit more depth into Selfish Woman's Group, the book, because it was happening. So I was writing while that was happening. So I was able to kind of put that into a character. But yeah, all of the characters in my books, like, they are relatable. Or if you can't relate, somebody that can relate because it's happened to them. It's all about challenges within families, friendships, and relationships, and just overcoming them. And then that is actually what morphed me into doing genetically resilient. I don't know if you guys know that I do apparel too. I did the apparel and Selfish Woman at the same time.
That's your t-shirt, right?
T-shirts, hoodies. I have my one on right now. Hold on. Yeah. But I do.
I think that, they always talk about 7 streams of income. But you have to think about just different streams of people pimp you out all day long when you go clock in at their 9-to-5 job. I'm just saying, yes, they do. They pimp you out for 8 hours to talk to people that they don't want to talk to. Sometimes you got to pimp your own self out. And you have to monetize on your skills, monetize on your creativity, because everybody else benefiting off of those things but you.
Yeah.
So
my whole brand is about like overcoming adversity. You know what I mean? And taking care of yourself and just turning a negative situation into a positive. I mean, I feel like I do that well. So, bitter, I wrote bitter instead of becoming bitter, then, I branched out and started apparel because I had people wearing hoodies and t-shirts and hats that said bitter. I was like, if I can get people to wear something that says bitter, I know I can get them to say something that says genetically resilient, which represents our strength. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, okay. And that came from the experience with my grandmother. I was like, I done put her through 5 brain surgeries and she's still ticking. COVID took her out, but she recovered. She had to go back and she had to live in a nursing home, but she bounced back. And I was like, we have that strength comes from our genes, whether it's my family's genes or us as a people.
Right.
I was like, okay. So I was like, let's see if my team would, would support me with this and rock this instead of rocking the bitter for my book,
Right.
And then I branched off. I started doing galas for people that have overcome adversity, and I would have speakers come in and
Mhm.
talk about their experience and just celebrating resilience.
Mhm.
And
Right.
then the self-care group, like that, all that was like 1 month apart from each other.
Wow.
I recognized my grandmother's strength, and I recognized how burnt out I was, and
That's right.
that's what that came
Mhm.
from.
Now,
So
what
I do that.
when it comes to your pen, what do you admire most about your writing?
I admire that I'm able to be raw and entertaining at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will put something. So I will send you guys my books. But I will put something. I will put something in there that you're like, damn, did she say that? Like she really put. I'll put things in there that make people see the vulnerable side of people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And even like with this last book, Selfish Women's Group, it has a lot of reproductive health issues in
Yeah.
there. And I don't gloss over anything. I make you feel it and experience it with them.
Mhm.
So just like the language, and I feel like the feedback that I've gotten from that is the way that I deliver it is it hits home, and then when people can relate, people buy the next one and
Right.
look
Absolutely.
forward to the next one because they
Yeah.
like that voice.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
other thing I want to say is, soul scratchers. We're soul scratchers. I
Mhm.
think just as mothers and women in general, our job is to scratch people's soul and to find out what it is that um, I know for me, to find out what it is you are really missing, not what you try to tell everybody you're missing, but what it is that you're really missing and give you that. If you're missing a sense of family, then that's what I'm giving you because I've scratched your soul. I realized that this is really what it is, not what you have on the outside. And that's what you
Mhm.
are. You are a soul scratcher. You are scratching people's souls with your books. You're saying, listen, because most of the time as a reader we're able to see the naked soul of an author.
Mhm.
We can
Mhm.
see everything. If you didn't like chapter 4, we're not going to like chapter 4 either.
No.
If you had a hard time emotionally, every emotional scene in your book is going to have a disconnect and your reader is going to experience that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And where
Mhm.
you're
Mhm.
disconnected is going to tell them where you're vulnerable at, where your difficulties are. They're going to be able to see all of that just by reading your work, your work.
It's
Yep.
a reflection of
Yep.
you.
And so when you put it in your books, you're saying, listen, I'm about to give it to y'all. You're
Yeah.
in turn kind of flipping the script and scratching their soul like, listen.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're right about that because I want people to ask themselves why.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could say it like that. Like, for instance, one of my books, I won't say which book, but one because I specifically didn't put certain things like in the synopsis of it to just force the. So let me just tell you, there's a character in one of my books that I make you fall in love with, right? At least I
Mhm.
think I make you fall in love with them. I make you like them, and then I disclose something about them, and then you have to think about if you why your response or if your response changes about them, if your feelings change about them because of what I reveal.
Mm.
And it shouldn't. But if it does, you need to look within. But
Mm.
if I came out with this is their story and this is, this is if I packaged them differently and told more of their story in the beginning,
Mhm.
then you would have formed a different opinion about them.
Mm.
And so,
Right.
basically I show you that it really makes no sense to not like this type of an individual. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And you can love somebody that's like this. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it might not be, what's the word? The popular thing to do,
Right.
Right.
or in your family, the acceptable thing to do,
Mhm. Mhm.
to openly embrace. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I like to show you different layers of characters and make you form, an opinion about them, and then give you the other.
Right.
And then that makes you question yourself. Have a conversation with yourself. That's what I want you to do. Especially I wrote a book that has all male characters, and that was the hardest book for me to write, because I write in first person in all my books. And so I didn't want my characters they were all black men, and I didn't want it to sound like a black woman talking to you. That
That's
was like
right.
one of the hardest books, because it wasn't just one character. You can get away with having one male character in the book and try to figure it out and give them a voice, but the
Right.
whole book is men.
Wow.
And yeah, it's that's my fifth book, I think, Stereotyped. And basically, I make you stereotype them. I make you think you have them pegged, and then I chop
Flip
at
it.
the layers, and then it shows you that you shouldn't stereotype. So I always have like
A message, pretty
a
much.
message.
That's
I
right.
Mhm.
always want you to look within and question yourself. You
Mhm.
know.
I love it. I love it. Now, here on Let's Chat, this is your first time, but we like to do something fun. And we
Okay.
have fun questions for a reason. We love to be able to allow our listeners and our viewers to be able to um, just feel that person that we have on the show that they probably never met before. And so these questions are always designed. I don't come up with them. So if you got pearls, just go ahead on and clutch them now. It's gonna be all right.
All
Mm-hmm.
right.
But we always have a fun question because it helps us kind of soul search you. It helps us scratch your soul. It helps us be able to tap into that and be able to allow people to see that about you. Because when you don't have that word of mouth, really, that's what draws you in. Your personality. It's part of the eye candy. It's part of the packaging of your brand. So T comes up with the questions, and so I
Okay.
just sit here with the popcorn and I listen. I'm ready.
Well, Vic, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your energy with Lissha and I. Now, you got me when you first came on the show with saying you wrote a book about your emotion. All your characters were emotion. So that got me to really thinking, I want to read this book because there may be some emotion that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember the big box of crayons that we used to get was like 1,000 colors in them? And I see you with so many colors, so many layers to you. But what color in that box of crayons would best describe you and why? And you can even make up a color if you feel that just puts you in a box, but literally in a box. What would
Okay.
describe Vic Reedy?
I would say I can make up a color. Fluorescent black.
Wow,
I can make one up. So
that's a first.
I stand out.
And you have to tell us why. I'm
yeah,
interested why.
it, because I am deeply rooted in my blackness,
I
but I
love it.
also but I shine. And
Mhm.
with darkness is usually associated with something negative. And I don't want people to, everything that I create, even like bitter. It was a black book,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
word bitter has a negative connotation.
That's
But
right.
Right.
once you read it, you know that it's not about being bitter. It's about overcoming bitterness, and not,
Mhm,
it doesn't advocate for you to be bitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
mhm.
my color would be fluorescent black.
I like
Hashtag
that.
black.
Different. But different. We've
That's
never had
different.
that. Everybody will pick a color that's already in the box, but you took that and was like, listen, I'm just going to brighten what I already am.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
So.
now I see like a shiny black instead of some a shiny copper penny, a shiny black penny.
Thank you.
I like fluorescent black.
We so appreciate you coming to kick it with us today in the chat room. We want you to shout out all of your social media, your group where everybody can get in contact with you if they want to join your group, any events or virtual events you may have coming up,
Okay.
and where they can get your apparel.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so you can get everything about me, everything that I do on my website, thechatradioshow.com. So that has my apparel, my group, my books. All the books are on Amazon.
Mhm.
If you're in the Boston area, they're in Frugal Books. But I also have them here so people could get a visual. This is my journal because I stay ready.
Yes, girl.
That's my journal. You can get that on Amazon. That's for self-care.
Mhm.
This
Yep, I already
was
got the Amazon up.
yeah, this is the first. Oh, hold on. All right, there you go.
There
That's
it
the
is.
first critter book, but then on my anniversary, I put myself on it.
Okay.
And
Child. Listen.
same book, different cover.
Mm.
Still Bitter, the sequel.
Still bitter.
Bitter Family Secrets, the last book of the series.
Bitter fam. That's in there. That would be interesting.
Stereotypes. Oh yeah, I got all my books. And I don't know if y'all can see. Can y'all see like what the background of that is?
Is that
Mhm.
like
Is it blurry?
binary?
No, it's a slave census, y'all.
What?
Slave census.
Wow.
That's a good idea.
Mm.
Mm.
Most people just look at it and kind of overlook it, but you gotta look at it to really see it. And then Selfish Women's Group. This is my new release, not to be confused with the Selfish Women's Group Journal.
Okay.
But yes, everything's on vicbreedy.com. All of my social media handles are at Vic Breedy or at Selfish Women's Group or
Mhm.
Genetically Resilient.
Awesome.
I think that's all I got. All I got, vicbreedy.com. That's the easiest thing.
I love it. Brandon, consistently across the board. That's what we like.
That's
We
it.
appreciate you. You are welcome back anytime. Anytime
Yes.
you want to come back, when you have your next book, your apparel,
Okay.
whatever it is. If you just want to talk that talk, if you have you want to have a selfish woman session, whatever you want to do, just let us know. We'll make it happen.
All right.
We appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate y'all. I
Thanks
really
so
do.
much.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
purple's my favorite color, though. You didn't ask me, and y'all got all these little purple thingies up
That's
here.
good.
I was
That's
like,
my favorite color.
I heard too.
Yes. That's why I said we sisters. We just ain't got the same mom and the daddy. But that's my favorite color too.
oh yes.
We appreciate you so much, Vic. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming on the
Thank
show,
you.
sharing your energy with us. It was refreshing, and we will see you soon.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
I love it. I love it. All right,
Yes.
y'all. The other show is actually up. We'll see y'all in 2 ticks.